Hello and welcome back to the William Gomes podcast. I am William Gomes and I am grateful to have you here. Today we turn to one of the most important and beautiful ideas in Lacanian psychoanalysis, the idea of desire. Desire is at the center of the human experience. It is the force that moves us, troubles us, awakens us, and unsettles us. It is the quiet pulse behind our choices, our relationships, and our sense of who we are becoming. Yet desire is not simple. It is not the same as wanting something specific. It is deeper, more mysterious, and often more difficult to grasp. In today's episode, we will explore what Lacan meant by desire, how it forms, how it moves through the three orders we have discussed, and how it shapes our emotional and relational lives. We will take our time with this, allowing the ideas to unfold slowly and thoughtfully. Let us begin with a simple question. What is desire? Desire is not a need. Needs can be satisfied. When a child is hungry and is fed, the need disappears. When they are cold and wrapped warmly, they feel comforted. Needs have clear objects and clear resolutions. Desire is different. Desire cannot be fully satisfied because it does not point directly to an object. It points to something missing, something unresolved, something that the person may not even be able to name. Desire is shaped by absence. Desire also is not the same as demand. A demand is something that can be expressed in words. It can be answered, met, or refused. But desire hides within demand. When someone asks for attention, comfort, or recognition, there is a desire beneath that request, a longing that cannot be fulfilled simply by giving what was asked for. The demand is a surface, desire lives underneath. To understand desire, we must return briefly to infancy. When a baby cries, they do not know what they want. They express a need or a discomfort, and the caregiver responds. Over time, the baby begins to sense that the caregiver does more than simply meet needs. The caregiver brings warmth, presence, voice, touch, and meaning. Something beyond basic survival appears in these early interactions. The child begins to long for something that is not an object, something that is more than food or comfort. That longing is the seed of desire. As the child enters the symbolic world of language, desire becomes shaped by words. The child learns to demand, to name, and to express wants. But even in this process, something escapes. The child discovers that language can never fully capture what they feel. No matter how clearly they ask for something, there is always a part of their longing that remains unspoken. That is desire. It is the leftover after needs and demands have been expressed and addressed. Desire also develops through the imaginary. In the imaginary, the child forms images of wholeness, images of who they might become, and images of what others expect of them. Thus, images shape desire by giving it a direction. The child may desire to be loved, admired, seen, or valued. They may desire to fill a perceived gap in their image of themselves. The image does not satisfy desire, it only guides it. But desire also touches the real. Desire contains something unnameable, something that cannot be symbolized or placed neatly into an image. This is why desire often feels mysterious. We may know that we want something, yet struggle to explain why. We may feel pulled toward a certain choice or relationship without being able to articulate the deeper movement within us. Desire crosses the borders of the imaginary, the symbolic, and the real. It moves through all three orders, taking something from each and belonging entirely to none. One of the most important insights in Lacanian thought is that desire is always the desire of the other. This does not mean that we desire what other people desire. It means that desire is born from our relationship to others. Desire forms in the space between ourselves and those who care for us. It forms in the space between our words and the meanings we receive in return. When we desire something, we are also desiring recognition, connection, and a response from another person. Desire is relational at its core. This is why desire can feel so vulnerable. When we express desire, we reveal something deep within us, something that may not be clearly understood even by ourselves. When we pursue desire, we come close to our own uncertainty. We risk rejection. We risk confronting the limits of our identity. Desire asks us to step into the unknown. Desire is not simply about wanting a specific thing, it is about the movement that draws us towards something beyond ourselves. It keeps us searching, it keeps us questioning, it keeps us alive to possibility. In this sense, desire is not a problem to be solved. It is the engine of subjectivity. Desire also shapes our fantasies. Fantasy is not a daydream or a simple wish. Fantasy is the frame that gives desire a shape. It is the story we create to make sense of our longing. The object in the fantasy is not the true object of desire. It is a stand-in, a placeholder that allows desire to move. The fantasy protects us from the rawness of desire. It gives desire a direction that we can imagine, even if the fantasy can never truly be fulfilled. Desire is also deeply connected to loss. Every human being experienced loss, not only through death or separation, but through the recognition that life cannot satisfy every longing. We come to understand that something is always missing. This missing piece is not a flaw. It is what opens desire. It keeps us connected to others. It keeps us searching for meaning. Desire also moves through the body. The body feels longing in ways that words cannot express. The body trembles, warms, tightens, or softens in response to desire. Desire is not only psychological, it is embodied. But even in the body, desire remains elusive because the body cannot fully express what desire is reaching toward. The body offers signs, but never the complete truth. Desire shows itself in our relationships. When we seek closeness, recognition, or intimacy, we are expressing desire. When we feel distant or restless within a relationship, we may be sensing a shift in our desire, even if we cannot explain it. Desire can be frightening because it does not always align with our intentions or expectations. It can disrupt patterns and challenge stories we have told about ourselves. But desire can also be healing. It can guide us toward what feels authentic and meaningful. It is important to remember that desire cannot be fully satisfied. This does not mean that desire leads to disappointment. It means that desire leads to becoming, it leads to growth. When one desire is fulfilled, another emerges. This movement allows us to continue shaping our identity throughout life. Desire is not selfish, it is not self centered. Desire is a sign of life. When desire fades, people often describe a sense of emptiness, numbness, or disconnection. When desire awakens, people describe feeling alive, engaged, and open. Desire brings movement to the psyche. We often try to control desire. We try to match it to expectations, roles, or responsibilities. But desire does not obey rules. It does not follow a clear path. It moves in unexpected ways. And when we try too hard to suppress it, it may return in disguised form, such as anxiety, frustration, or restlessness. Desire will always find a way to express itself. Understanding desire means learning to listen to it gently without judgment. It means acknowledging that desire is part of being human, part of being unfinished, part of being open to possibility. Listening to desire does not mean acting on every impulse. It means treating our inner movements with respect and curiosity. Desire also teaches us humility. It reminds us that we are not complete. It reminds us that we depend on others. It reminds us that we cannot fully know ourselves. Instead of treating desire as something to be fixed or controlled, we can treat it as a guide, a companion in our journey of becoming. Let us take a moment to consider how desire shapes meaning. Many people believe that meaning comes from achievements, roles, or successes. But meaning often arises from the pursuit itself, from the movement of desire rather than the attainment of an object. People often feel most alive when they are striving for something, learning something, or imagining a new possibility. Desire brings vitality to life. As we begin to close this episode, let us reflect on everything we have explored. Desire is not an object, it is not a possession. It is a movement, a longing, a question. It shapes identity, relationships, and our sense of possibility. It moves between the imaginary, the symbolic, and the real. It asks us to listen to ourselves deeply and gently. In the next episode, we will explore a concept closely linked to desire, the idea of lack. Lack may sound negative, but in Lacanian thought, it is the condition that makes desire possible. Lack opens the space for connection, creativity, and subjectivity. Understanding lack helps us understand why desire never fully resolves and why that is not a failure but a part of being human. For now, I hope this reflection on desire gives you a new way of understanding the movements within your own life, the longings that shape your decisions, and the quiet questions that continue to guide you. Thank you for listening. This is the William Gomez podcast. Take care of yourself, stay curious, and I will speak with you again soon.